Thanks very much for coming, guys. Coming all the way from New Zealand. Been here for a few years now, so you're probably, if you've been here before, you're starting to get to know us. And we've developed this new technology called YourWave. It's pretty cool. We call it the most versatile stationary wave in the world because we can basically manipulate the wave's work. As you can see here, we've got a kid. I take my 3.5-year-old daughter surfing on it, and then 5 minutes later I can have a 7.5-foot overhead barrel wave for myself. And that's just basically a touch of a button. It's all an inflatable system, and it pumps up the wave to whatever height you want. We do a little bit different than other waves. We pitch our wave on an angle, and that makes it, for us, it makes it a lot more surfing. I've been surfing for 20 years. We started off basically making front-on wave like everyone else, and then one day we're like, let's see if we can make this thing barrel, so we put the bags on an angle, and then we never went back. We're like, this thing is absolutely insane. I'll give you a video. I'm pretty lucky this is in my backyard too. So I live like right there. That's cool. Hot showers in winter. Gets pretty cold, gets -5. But that's cool. That's the largest deep water stationary wave barrel in the world. That's it. Brand new V-Wave form. We think this is a total game changer. Allows 2 surfers to surf it on the same time. Double your throughput for kids, so you go from 12 to 24. And it's there to replicate wake surfing. And you know how big wake surfing is, it's getting huge. So you imagine this in a place where you can have 500 people watching wake surfing competition. That's sort of where we're going with that. Awesome. Breakthrough stationary wave surfing machines are produce waves of controllable size. So basically you get presets and you can press a button and it'll create that wave, or it can be fully customizable. So we can actually teach you how to make your very own waves. It's pretty cool. I basically begun development of this. I saw an opportunity, and this goes back 14 years. I've been doing it for around 13 or 14 years from the beginning. And we're literally having some beers and we're going, why don't we build these things on an inflatable bouncy castle? Because we saw people using hard surfaces, crashing, wiping out. We thought that can't be like surfing. Like I surf and we surf big waves and you wipe out and you sort of come up. That's one of the best things. You come up and you're like, wow, it didn't even hurt. You know, so you go out and you charge some more. So that's kind of what we wanted to do. We wanted to replicate that. The world's most versatile standing wave. Vision, we bring the feeling and exciting of surfing to everyone, everywhere. Now this thing is extremely like surfing. I'm not saying exactly like surfing, I'm not saying as good as a wave lagoon, but on the stationary wave market, this thing is as close as it gets. And that's because we do pitch it on an angle. You know, you'll see some of the turns in some of the videos, they're much like surfing turns. We get some pro surfers, we have Ricardo Christie, and if you're here tomorrow, I'm speaking tomorrow as well, we've got a bit more in there. But these guys come in and they think it's a high performance wave when they surf it. It's pretty cool. A mission is to design and build the most fun, safe and realistic standing waves machines in the world. So as I said, we want 5-year-old kids to come and use this wave. We want pro surfers to come use this wave. We want everyone to come use this wave. And that all of a sudden opens your whole market up. So your market then goes from just your sort of, with other waves, sort of like maybe 10, 12-year-olds through the 40s, you're actually going right down to your 5. As I said, my 3.5-year-old daughter surfs on it and has heaps of fun as well. So unrivaled versatility. We've got lefts or rights, mellow to barreling, groms to pros, multi-discipline surf, wake surf and bodyboard. So there's a huge variety there. Ultimate in safety, so inflatable structures, no deep water washout, rounded soft sides, adjust the wave side to suit the rider. So most surfers will come in on our standard waves that'll be about that big, and then they'll kind of look back, and then all of a sudden by the end of the session the wave's that big. And we're just building the wave up as they progress with it. And they kind of sit there and then go, whoa, look how big the wave is, and it's pretty cool to watch. User-friendly controls, so it's all touchscreen control. It's pretty simple. You either presets or use your full customization, so get on there and do whatever you want yourself. And very we've got obviously safety shut-offs and that. We've had, in the last 21 months, we've had to press the emergency button once. So we've only had to stop it once in the last nearly 2 years. Real surfing, surf left to right like surfing, transferable skills. Experienced customers will travel there. So we've had people actually travel from Auckland, which is, it's a plane flight away for us. So we get quite a lot of people travelling down to do it. And it's a standing wave like no other. We're not like anyone else out there. We're something completely new and something completely different. Visitation, it's the unit can handle high customer throughput, and that's something that we've been really focusing on, especially when it comes to people who want to invest in something like this. They've got to make the most out of the product. So you've got to get the most customers through this to make it the most profitable, and that's why we're trying to expand our market with young kids right up to professionals. Ancillary businesses, creating an epic destination with YourWave. We've currently only had a wave operating, and so I come from a place with 10,000 people in it. It's pretty small. We're operating at a profit for 6 months of the year, not selling any food, not selling anything else but waves, because that's all we wanted to do is test waves. So that's nuts. Like if you put this thing into a place with 100,000 people, you've got a profitable business without food. We've just started to build food, so we're putting a Texas barbecue in at the moment, which we can't wait for. That should be ready by the time I get home, as fingers crossed everyone's doing their jobs properly. And that's going to bring in that extra revenue. We reckon we can make this place viable in a town of 10,000 people. Keeping them coming back. So our idea is we have basically 25% of our customers will return for more than once, 65% of your sessions will be returning customers. So in a small area like we are, we rely on locals coming back for more. We have a really good local following. They do my videos, but we also just say, like, we cater for kids. The kids get better, they come back. And the same with adults. The adults get better, they come back. You learn to ride a left, you learn to ride a right. You start getting onto the V-waves and learning all those, and then you want to get better and try and get into the barrel, and that's sort of the way that keeps people coming back. So kids, this is awesome. We're getting really good kid turnouts. This is kind of example of our kids wave, and it's just a little fun like wave that you just crank it down, minimum power consumption, and yeah, it works really, really well. So this sort of gives you an idea of what profits and stuff, and this is coming directly off what we do, and it's sort of the profits that you make. So you get kilowatt hours, your small grom, you're around that 190 kilowatts, your epic, which is kind of your standard, you're around the 470 kilowatts. You go up to pumping, barreling, so that's 7.5 foot, you're up around that 600 kilowatts, and then your wake surfing, you're around 350. We've actually done quite a bit of studying because we've got variable speed drives and we can adjust the technology. We're actually one of the most, what would you say, least expensive on power on average out of all the units out there. And that's just because we've got that adjustability. And that profit's net profit too. That's after all your costs per hour. Dedicated innovation. So one of the things that we do want to do is the unit you buy, you're going to get this really good solid unit in the ground, but we want to give you guys updates following on. So it could be a software update. We might develop a new wave, and in 5 years' time we go, hey, look guys, we can come in and retrofit your unit. We've got these epic new waves to come out. And I'll go a bit more into that tomorrow. But we want to keep developing. We want to keep creating new waves. And that's for you guys to get customers to keep coming back, because people are going to come back to get more. If you say, hey, look, we've got this new epic wave coming, you're going to get those surfers who surf it all the time coming back for more. So that's one of our dedication to you guys. It's not going to be the same wave in 20 years' time. It's going to have the same infrastructure, all going to be there, but we're going to have software systems, retrofitted inflatables that can change waves and always keep you guys up to date if you purchase one of these units. This sort of gives you an idea of size. So this is the left-hand brake. So you're 61 feet wide, 87 feet long, 29 feet of, this is like the water surface, but when you pitch it on an angle, you actually get 34 feet of surfable area. So also by pitching the wave on an angle, you get a bigger wave and a less amount of area, and that works out really well. It's pretty much a right-hander, but on the opposite side, so same thing. And then the V-wave. Now, all of this is in the same system. You don't have to take something out and put a V-wave in. You don't have to take something out and put a left-hand wave in. It's all in the system. You basically touch a button and the system will create those waves. You don't have to take anything out or put anything in. So what's included in services? So we have a comprehensive service schedule. It's provided to keep the unit running up in top condition. We've been working with H2 Lagoon Solutions in the US, so we're looking at them to be our main provider for servicing and maintaining. So if you do invest one over here, you're going to make sure you have a really good team working behind you, and we're 100% there too. We give you 40 hours of training, and this can even extend if you want more, but 40 hours of training for your staff to train the people right. And I'll go a bit more in depth about our incident reports and all that stuff tomorrow in my session, so please come and see that, because we will train your staff to make sure you don't have, you don't have as least incidents as possible, and how to give the customers the best experience as well. Help is only a phone call away, and as I said, support. So we're setting up those guys in the US to be your full-time support. They're going to be there all the time. Construction, varying levels of construction support, from turnkey packages to build instruction that can be provided. So we can do a straight turnkey package, or we can do something if you're in the, you've got people that know how to do steel fabrication, engineering, and that. We can work with you guys to do that here. Development, as I said earlier, like we continue our technology. We're going to use our main priority at my site and the farm is a research and development. We do run it commercially, so we're open every day of the year. But it is main priority is that sort of research and development. How do we make cooler waves? How do we make better waves? That's my passion. That's what I love doing. I like bringing my locals in every Friday and go, hey guys, we're going to surf a completely different wave today. Let's try it out. Let's make it better. Little things like, just at the moment, we're working on the transition to the barrel. Like, we can make a mean barrel. This thing's insane. But I'm working on the transition on that barrel. And we're working within millimeters and inches of this barrel. So when you surf it, you've got the best chance of just getting into it and surfing it first time. So we're always working on that. And we might come up to you and go, hey guys, we just got a software update. And that might change that transition slightly on the wave pool, and then you just, you plug that in and it'll change that automatically. Flexibility, work with a company dedicated to giving you solution you require. Out of the box thinking with design and commercial contracts. And I think, here we go. So this is what our new units, it's one of our concept, well, it's not a concept, this is basically what our new units are going to look like. We're trying to work in, like, I've always loved Malibu wakeboarding boats, I've always loved wakeboarding boats. My vision for YourWave is to be that same sort of standard, that same sort of style. For the main reason, when people jump on this, you want to give them that feeling that they're in something special. They're the coolest kid in the block, and they're having heaps of fun. So we've got a unit in hardware, and this is basically our final version of it. We're ready to go, and yeah, we're ready to provide the most versatile, adaptable stationary wave in the world. Thank you very much. Any questions?
How many cubic meters water do you guys have in your system?
How many cubic meters? It's just under 1,000. Yep. That's the 3-pump system. It would go up to about, I think it goes up to about 1,400 cubic meters for a 4-pump, and then bigger. And that's one thing we do. Like, what you see here is the 3-pump system, which we have. We can do a 4-pump right up to a 6-pump system.
We looked at alternatives to the inflatable walls and sides and these things.
In what way? So, in like padding, or?
Well, if you were placing it in a finished park that had space to do it, you know, and actually just construct walls around it. I'm just the inflatable piece.
Yeah. So the inflatable piece plays a major part in it, especially when you get to the barreling waves. Like so over here, for example, if you're surfing the left-hand barrel, you're coming out and you're wiping out here pretty hard. So you want that to be reasonably soft. And then everything underneath here is inflatable. That's how we make our waves. So that's how we make our waves. When you start the machine up, it's flat. You could get a rope and wakeboard on it. And then we pump our wave up to whatever height that you want. So it's all constructed out of inflatable stuff.
So you wipe out onto those side pieces?
Yeah. Yeah. You'll either go over the back on the smaller waves, you just come up and you'll crash down here and then you'll slide up on the back piece. Or if you're doing the big gnarly waves, you'll crash out, you wipe out here. It actually makes quite a nice pool of water in the corner. So when you crash, like the 7.5 foot barrel wave will scare the crap out of you, but when you wipe out on it, you'll actually feel like you're crashing in real life water. Yo!
How deep is it? Because I've tried 8 different standing waves. I tend to get held down. I don't know why. And it's pretty scary, even though I've been surfing for many years. What's the case with this? Am I going to get shot at real quick? Or?
We haven't had any hold downs. You don't get hold down because the waters, we've done a lot of work and research on the depth of water that we need. And we're like, there's no point going real deep because if you go too deep in a stationary wave, you're using more power consumption. Basically, the more water you push, the more power you do, right? So we did a lot of work on how do we use, because we use real surfboards, real surfboard fins, full-size surfboard fins, and we worked it out to be just over 300 mils deep where you very rarely touch the bottom. When you come up over the back, the water will just push you up, you'll slide up onto a grill, and you'll get out of the water. There's no deep water, there's no curling around, there's no hold downs. Yeah, you'll be able to, and I'm looking forward to you coming to surf it. We're waiting.
How often do you puncture the inflatable?
Right, so we did, again, I'll get into this a wee bit more tomorrow. So we have punctured them, I'm not going to lie, but we haven't punctured them now for 9 months. And that's because we've just been developing a really good covering system. So we use drop stitch material, which is used for inflatable boats, all your paddle boards and all that sort of stuff. And then we put a double-walled PVC covering system over them. So if anything gets damaged, it's a PVC covering system, and there it's an easy fix if they do get damaged. And that's something we take through. But we've now got it to a point where 9 months without any punches. I think we've had 3 punches the 22 months that we've been there. And it takes one of my guys 5 minutes to fix the puncture if we do get it. The air system we use, you won't know until you've got a puncture until the end of the day, because the air system we use keeps everything inflated for the whole day. And then at the end of the day, you'll see some bubbles come up and you go, okay, we'll go and put a patch on it. We don't want that though. It's one of the things that we want to try and totally eliminate. So we've been working real hard. Where do we get the punctures? What's happening? And we've simply gone from like a single layer of PVC to a triple layer of PVC on the real bad bits. Another thing we're doing is we've been using these FCS2 flexi fins, which basically they'll give all your day, every day. The people who come in there once won't notice the difference. The people that start surfing it all the time will, and they'll use hard fins. So our locals use hard fins, but they're not punching it because they know how to fall off. The only time you puncture it is you'll get a learner and he'll be standing on his board and he won't jump off his board. He'll surf the board right over the back, land on it on the back side, and then he'll go up the side, scrape all the fins, break all your fin boxes, and you just don't do that. And that's another thing that we teach you guys. Like we'll take like there's 2 things. We've done the PVC, but we've also done a lot of work with our staff on how to teach people how to fall on the wave. There's certain things you do and certain things you don't, and we just haven't had an issue with it for so long. And we guarantee that. Like, we also sell all our units with double of all the inflatable stuff, and it's as easy as pulling one piece out and putting one piece in. It's basically simple to do, but I don't think you'd ever have to do that. Okay. Thank you.